Well, good evening. This is Dave Jones with Storm Center Communications and Geo Collaborate. This is just a quick update. It's around 9:30 on September 28th, Monday evening. Tropical Storm Idalia is still a tropical storm, although it is very, very close to becoming a hurricane. Winds of 70 miles per hour. There are stronger gusts at times, but this is the big picture right now that's happening as the sun set. The Terminator line came across the world and the sun set on Idalia. We have a tropical storm. You can also see Hurricane Franklin out there off the southeastern coast between Bermuda and the United States, kicking up a lot of surf. It's a Category 4 hurricane out there. Meanwhile, Idalia is right on the verge of becoming a hurricane. I want to take you a little bit closer and show you some of the lightning activity, how it looked earlier this evening. You can see Franklin spinning out there. As a matter of fact, very interestingly, had a lot of lightning around the eye wall of Franklin as it was rapidly intensifying. Been a Category 4 most of the day, at least from about noontime on the rest of the day today. It's going to be kicking up a lot of surf, large swells, and rip currents throughout the day tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, into Friday, all along the East Coast. So please exercise caution. If you know anybody going to the beaches, make sure they do not swim alone. They should have another adult with them and only swim around beaches that are guarded by lifeguards. Meanwhile, Idalia didn't have a whole lot of lightning this evening, but earlier today had lightning. And that shows up there as well as thunderstorms on the Florida peninsula. That is going to happen sort of widespread over the next couple of days as Idalia gets its act together and moves towards the Gulf Coast of Florida. There is a state of emergency in effect, and there's also mandatory evacuations in numerous counties along the Gulf Coast, the west coast of Florida. So please check your local emergency management operations, those spokespeople, to tell you whether you need to evacuate or not if you are watching from Florida. Now, I want to show you something interesting as well. Earlier, just a little while ago, the NOAA N-43, the P-3 aircraft, was flying through one of these big thunderstorms that were erupting around the center of Idalia. I put it into time lapse here a little bit, but you can see what it looks like. You can see the plane moving there in that black spot. That's a big thunderstorm, and it's experiencing winds of 55 miles per hour at times, really buffeting the plane around. And you can see it's moving through. These are the heroes, the hurricane hunters that constantly fly through the storm to take weather measurements so we can get that data into numerical prediction models. It's really quite fascinating. But we're tracking the planes when they're up and flying and gathering all that important data to go into numerical weather prediction models to make the hurricane forecast intensity and track more accurate. So let me widen out here and show you Geo Collaborate. This is a wide view of what it looks like. The latest forecast from the National Hurricane Center at 8 o'clock has the Hurricane Idalia becoming a major hurricane by this period of time, which is by 2 in the morning on on Wednesday, August 30th. Winds of 120 miles per hour in this area. That is right here off the coast of Tampa, St. Petersburg, with a large wind field. There's going to be storm surge, folks, and it's going to come up into Tampa Bay once the storm gets just to the north of the Tampa area and winds swing around to the southwest. There are also, let me zoom in here, storm surge warnings in effect around the Big Bend area all the way down past Tampa. And that means that we're expecting storm surge amounts of 8 to 12 feet above normally dry ground in this whole area here. 8 to 12 feet in this red area. And just south, we're talking 6 to 9 feet. That's all the way down to the Anclote River. And so 6 to 9 feet there. And in the Tampa Bay area, looks like storm surges of 4 to 7 feet are still expected. This is also the path, the latest track of the Hurricane Center will be updated at 11 o'clock tonight. We'll be back tomorrow with another update in the late morning. But this is the expected heavy rain path. Let me zoom out a little bit and show you the potential for flooding in this red area along the path of the storm. Right before it goes out to sea, there's going to be a lot of flash flooding. So if you live in low-lying areas or if you're susceptible to flooding, please think about a place where you're going to go, because there is a high probability there will be flooding along this red area throughout Florida, northern Florida, southeastern Georgia, eastern and southeastern South Carolina, and southeastern North Carolina. There is a high probability of some major flooding because of the heavy rains that Idalia will bring. We'll certainly keep you posted. And also for the Fleet Response Working Group, there are discussions about mobilizing utility vehicles from around the country, and they will be focused on the state of Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, and probably North Carolina to restore power after Idalia passes through. Remember, they can't get up to fix the wires until the tropical storm force winds subside, and it is safe to do so. So we're going to be monitoring this. There's another update from the Hurricane Center at 11 o'clock tonight. Watch your local news and also the Weather Channel to get updated there. This update is for the Sensitive Information Sharing Environment, the SICE network, for the All Hazards Consortium, so they can prepare to help fleet utility vehicles move across the country and help state emergency operations collaborate and coordinate with other states around the country. So that's the way it looks for this evening. I'm Dave Jones with Storm Center Communications and GeoCollaborate. Thanks for watching this update. We'll be doing a few more updates during the day tomorrow. And most likely when you wake up, we will have Hurricane Idalia, and it will be on a path to rapidly intensify with winds of up to 120 miles per hour now forecast, and that could even go up. We're going to see lots of storm surge. Devastating storm surge in parts of the Florida coast. Do not let your guard down. Remember, the cone forecast, that cone of uncertainty, is not a damage path. The wind field extends far beyond that cone of uncertainty. And so the storm center is likely to move in the cone. However, 1/3 of the time it moves outside of the cone, and wind damage and storm surge extends far away from the cone. So those of you living from Sarasota to Bradenton up to St. Pete, Tampa, Clearwater, on up north past Indian Rocks and further, expect some major storm surge and also winds of at least tropical storm force, if not hurricane force. We'll know much more as the hurricane, or what will be Hurricane Idalia, develops further, and we can get a better track on it with the numerical models that are getting the input from those Hurricane Hunter aircraft that have been flying through the storm this evening. We'll keep you posted. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.